Hello everyone, I'm Rekha. Welcome to this session. Before going to the session, let me introduce myself. I have a BE background with electronics communication engineering, and currently I was working for Cognizant and have 8 years of experience in software development. Why I'm here, for this session, like why I'm here, it's a big question, right? Like I love to mentor many of the students or many of my colleagues. So that is what I'm here to share my experience with you all. Okay, let's start up a demo. Just a overview. What I'm going to talk today is um, before going to know the language, let's see what is in history of its and the you and where it has been used. So these informations is very much required. And the next part I'll be talking about. So in this overview of Java, I'll teach you about, just show you about origin and the name, how it has been established. First they have mentioned is that it has oak, and then they have changed to Java, and how it has been published to the people, to the software world, that we can see. And the what are the releases, first what release has been come, and when was the release has been given, and those details we can see it. As I said earlier, where Java has been used. See, Java has been used. It has been in and around us. Like you can see it in online games and where you chat with the people around, and so and so. Like in also in intranet applications also, it has been used. So that is what I want to share. Before going to in depth of it, you see, the session will be not only for the person who knows about Java. It is also the freshers who comes in, right? They need to know why is it Java language has been come in. So there I have given some comparison between the native languages. Native language is nothing but C and C++, and what are the functionalities has not been used over in Java. So those comparison thing I have been shown over here, and those points, many people will be knowing about what is a pointers in C, and how the memory management has been done in C, and how it has been done in Java. That differences that we can see it, so that you'll be learning a lot. like uh, Normally if we go to a new language, we need to give some differentiation. That is what I want to tell you about, even the native language. So the next comes multiple inheritance and pass by references. What is pass by references? Whether it has been used in Java or not. And memory management. See, in C and C++, how the memory is managed, the same thing has been used, like stack and heap, which were used in native. The same thing only it is been used in Java, but it has been handled in different manner, that we can see. And the main disadvantages of pointers, since from this program you can see, the memory management is been handled by our programmers. It is an each individual's responsibility to handle the memory management, correct? So as of these details we'll see in the forthcoming sessions. And then the memory management in C++ is been handled by our OS, how it has been handled, and how in Java it has been handled. That differences we can see. And multiple inheritance, as you know, in Java it is not there. I think that in detailed description we can see, like with use of interfaces. So in why in C++ this become a terrible thing to handle it? That is due to some ambiguity. Ambiguity is nothing but the compiler gets uh, the compiler was being sorry, the compiler doesn't know to which to match it, because there are a lot of base classes over there, and a single child classes is inheriting. First, before going to this, what is an inheritance? Inheritance is nothing but like in our real world, how we inherit the properties or our habitats and characteristics from our parents. In such manner, the in programmatic also they have used, but multiple inheritance is not there in the real world. So in our session we'll see like we'll relate it with the real world, and I can give you the examples how easier it is to reach reach you. So that is very important, right? So multiple inheritance is not in Java. So that is because of ambiguity. So that differences is there. And as I said, that structural programming, which is being handed over by C and C++, which is nothing but they have used, there we use top-down approach and bottom-up approach. We see like what all those top-down and bottom-up, something like I can give you some examples. Like bottom-up is nothing but we make a modules and join and make a like small modules, and we will integrate it to a bigger one. That is what has been handled by the Java. But top down is nothing but everything put together in one, and then they start doing the program. So that is what the main differences between a structural and object oriented. And it is how it is flexible, how it is portable, how it is reusable thing. Those functionalities we can see it in the later session. And here I have shown the C program, how it is. Just to differentiate it, I have given some program for you. And in object oriented paradigm, what happens is like we join the data and the behavior. Data is nothing but the variables and the function, that is method, together. But in C and C++, it is being handled in different manner. That is, the data are being lying in the global area, and there is no integrations. Like the function is apart, and the global area, that is data, is located in different. There is no integration between them. But in object oriented, the object has both the behaviors and the data together. View of a JD